Have you ever looked at someone in a position of power and thought, how on earth did they get there? We've all seen it. People who seem utterly incompetent rising to positions of authority, while far more capable individuals remain invisible. Think of Emperor Nero fiddling while Rome burned, or modern figures like Elizabeth Holmes, who built a billion-dollar company on technology that never worked. This pattern feels too common to be an accident. But what if it isn't? What if there's a twisted logic behind why the least qualified so often gain the most influence? Today we turn to Niccolo Machiavelli, one of history's most misunderstood political thinkers, whose brutal insights reveal why stupidity and power so often go hand in hand. And this isn't just dusty philosophy, it's a psychological phenomenon still shaping our governments, businesses, and lives right now. In 16th century Florence, exiled from the politics he loved, Niccolo Machiavelli wrote The Prince, a book that would become one of the most controversial political treatises in history. Unlike the idealists before him, Machiavelli wasn't concerned with how rulers should behave in a perfect world. He studied how power actually works in the real one. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. This single sentence cuts to the heart of his philosophy. Machiavelli understood that perception often matters more than reality when it comes to power. And here lies our paradox. Appearing competent is often more important than actually being competent. Leaders who display too much intelligence can create problems for themselves because intelligence usually brings nuance, self-awareness, and ethical restraint. In political struggles, where boldness often trumps reflection, these very virtues become dangerous liabilities. Modern psychology backs up what Machiavelli observed centuries ago. Studies in leadership and organizational behavior show that confidence often outweighs competence in determining who rises to the top. This is sometimes called the confidence illusion. People are drawn to those who project certainty, even when that certainty is baseless. Charisma, boldness, and the ability to simplify complex problems into easy slogans often win more followers than quiet intelligence or careful reasoning. Think of political campaigns. The candidate who offers clear, decisive, though simplistic, answers frequently outshines the one who explains the messy, complicated truth. And in boardrooms, the executive who speaks with conviction can overshadow the expert who hesitates. The disturbing reality is that, in many systems, being wrong with confidence can be more effective than being right with doubt. This is how fools, wrapped in boldness, often outpace the wise. Another dark dynamic Machiavelli hinted at is what we might call the incompetence network. Weak leaders rarely surround themselves with strong, independent thinkers. Instead, they choose advisors who are less capable than themselves, yes men who won't challenge their authority. This creates a downward spiral, mediocrity breeding more mediocrity. Historical accounts show emperors, kings, and dictators who intentionally placed unqualified relatives or loyal cronies in positions of power. Why? Because competence is threatening. A skilled advisor might expose flaws, question decisions, or even outshine the leader. By contrast, a foolish follower reinforces the leader's illusion of superiority. The result is a hollow system propped up by loyalty, not talent. We see this not only in palaces of the past, but in modern corporations, governments, and institutions, where weak leaders keep their thrones by ensuring everyone around them is weaker still. But the puzzle goes deeper. Why do the masses so often accept incompetent leaders? Here, psychology gives us another disturbing insight: the simplicity trap. Most people prefer answers that are clear and confident, even if they're wrong, over explanations that are accurate but complex. In times of crisis especially, uncertainty feels unbearable. A leader who declares, "I have the solution," gains followers, while the one who says, "It's complicated and here's why," loses them. Machiavelli knew that humans crave certainty. That's why he advised rulers to appear decisive, even ruthless, because hesitation looked like weakness. This phenomenon explains why propaganda works, why populist slogans spread, and why the illusion of strength outshines genuine wisdom. We aren't just victims of manipulative leaders, we're participants in the system, rewarding false simplicity over honest complexity. And until we confront that bias, fools will continue to rise. There's another hidden disadvantage intelligent leaders face: the ethical handicap. Those who care about morality, truth, and justice often stop themselves from using manipulative tactics. They hesitate to exploit people's fears or spread lies, even when such methods guarantee political success. But their less scrupulous rivals feel no such restraint. History shows us countless examples: demagogues rising while principled reformers fall. Machiavelli bluntly argued that rulers who cling too tightly to virtue will lose power to those willing to be ruthless. He didn't celebrate this. He simply described it as reality. In toxic systems, ethics becomes a weakness. Leaders who act responsibly are seen as slow or indecisive, while those who break rules look bold and effective. This creates a dangerous imbalance. The very qualities that make someone a good human being can prevent them from ever becoming a successful leader in corrupt environments. Machiavelli also recognized that foolish leaders don't just rise, they maintain power through manipulation. One method is mass distraction. When citizens are entertained or overwhelmed by constant noise, scandals, slogans, endless media battles, they stop asking hard questions. In this environment, incompetence hides behind the spectacle. Another tactic is scapegoating, blaming external enemies or internal minorities for failures. This creates unity through fear, while shielding the leader from accountability. The strategy isn't new. It echoes across history from Roman emperors to modern politicians. The formula is simple: keep the public distracted, keep them divided, and they won't notice the emperor has no clothes. What's most alarming is how effective these tactics remain, even in an age of instant information. Technology was supposed to enlighten us. Instead, it often amplifies the noise, making it harder than ever to separate truth from illusion. So how do we break the cycle? Machiavelli believed that individuals, once aware of these dynamics, could learn to resist them. Modern psychology agrees. Awareness is the first step. Recognizing the tricks: charisma without substance, confidence masking ignorance, distractions that hide incompetence, gives us power. But awareness alone isn't enough. We need systems that reward merit instead of manipulation. Transparent institutions, free media, education that teaches critical thinking, all of these weaken the grip of foolish leaders. On a personal level, it means asking harder questions, resisting easy answers, and valuing honesty even when it's uncomfortable. True progress comes when societies refuse to be seduced by appearances and demand substance over spectacle. This is difficult because humans are wired for shortcuts, but it's the only way to prevent the constant recycling of mediocrity at the top. In the end, Machiavelli's insights remain disturbingly relevant. Fools rise to power not by accident, but through systems that reward illusion over substance, and through our own willingness to accept easy answers. The real danger isn't just that incompetent people lead, it's that we follow them, knowingly or not. But history also shows another truth. When individuals question, when societies demand accountability, when people value truth more than spectacle, the cycle can be broken. The responsibility begins with each of us. So here's the challenge. The next time you hear a leader speak with certainty, ask yourself, does their confidence hide ignorance, or is it rooted in wisdom? Don't just consume. Question, reflect, share. That's how real change begins. What about you? Have you ever noticed incompetence being rewarded with power in your workplace, school, or community? Share your story in the comments. It might open someone's eyes. If this video challenged your perspective, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this truth. Together, we can resist the illusion and demand better leadership.